Our next type of buffer are animation buffers. And before we get into showing how they work, let's talk a little bit about the differences between using an animation buffer and a DDR. DDRs play content that is spooled off of disk. So they can play content of any length, and they also support audio. But animation buffers are going to load their content into the graphics card memory and play the content from there. And there's a finite amount of graphics card memory, which means that every buffer that you load that's animation style will be limited to 500 frames maximum. They also do not support audio. So based upon your playback needs might determine whether you need to use a DDR or if an animation buffer will work. Animation buffers are great for things like animated logos, bugs, or animated backgrounds. So if you have anything like that you're going to use, animation buffers might be the best way to do it. Let's take a look at a couple animated logos that we can load into the system. So on my buffer, I'm going to go to buffer slot 1, hit the plus sign, and down at the bottom on your media browser window, there is an area called frame buffer animations. These are things that have been created that are designed specifically for the animated frame buffers. Now, if you want to create your own of these, you're going to use a piece of software called Animation Store Creator, which is included with your TriCaster. You'll build your frames of animation, run them through that software, and that will prepare them into this format. It is possible to load some clip formats like a QuickTime file or a GIF file into a buffer, and as long as it's short enough, that will work as well. But the Animation Store Creator is probably the best way to create these. I'm going to go into the frame buffer animations to this one called sports, and in here is a basketball animation. I'll hit OK. And you'll see that even though it is a still image down in the buffer, if we look in the multi-view and I happen to have buffer 1 on program out, we can see all of the frames of animation playing back in this buffer. Now, some buffers will play in a loop, some will ping pong, some might play once and then they'll reset and play again the next time you bring in the air. That's all determined by how the buffer was created in Animation Store Creator. Let's just take a look at a few of the other types. So this is a looping style. I have another one here that was created using the ping pong style. If I load this one up, and let's put this one to air, you can see this is the VizRT logo. I just animated it doing one direction, and then it ping pongs and plays the reverse to go back to the front again. So even though it's a 7-second animation, it really appears twice as long because I only had to build half the animation in this case. And for the last one, let's load a single play. Under the alerts, there's one called Zombie Alert. And this one, whenever you bring it to air, it will play and then stop on the last frame. So I'm going to bring it to air. You can see it plays the animation and then freezes at the end. When I bring it off, it will reset. And the next time I bring it on, it will play again. So this is all set in Animation Store Creator as to how the playback will work. One last aspect I want to talk about is that with the animated buffers, there is a speed control, and you can find that in the buffer window down below. This one's right now set to a 2-second playback speed, but if I click on it, I can slow it down or speed it up. So maybe I want it to play faster, or maybe I want it to play slower. You can also drag in here with the mouse, and you can set any speed you want. So if there is a particular speed you're looking for, you can dial that in for your animation to play at.